Hello, little portobello mushrooms. Welcome to the first pick a card reading on my YouTube channel. I am super excited to be here. My name is Boyish Empress, aka Raven, and I will be your host today. So, I thought long and hard about what was the first reading that I wanted to give on this channel, and the idea that resonated most clearly to me was a reading that could help my viewers release something, to help them take something off of their plate. So today we're going to be looking into what can you release. And like I said, hopefully this will be very helpful to you. My intention is for this reading to clarify for you the things in your life, the areas, perhaps the people, places, or things that are no longer helping you, are no longer taking up space in your life in a way that is rejuvenating, nourishing, helpful, or makes sense for you. So if you're interested in that type of reading, then I implore you to stick around and to pick one of these piles. So the way that this is going to work, if you've never done a pick a card tarot reading before, or just for you to help get to know my process better, I really want the beginning of this video, the card choosing process, to be an opportunity for you to strengthen your intuition. So in the process of you choosing one of these three piles, I want you to feel into your body. I want you to notice any sensations. These can be positive or freeing sensations, or they could be negative sensations or constricting sensations. And these bodily feelings will help you choose a pile that is going to resonate best with your spirit, with your life at this time. Keep in mind that these are collective readings, so whichever one that you pick, it's going to resonate hopefully the most out of the three for you, but it's not completely customized. But with that being said, you might be surprised how specific a collective message can be. So yeah, I just want you to trust yourself and trust your body. Maybe the bodily sensations don't feel super accessible to you. You can pick a different way. You can softly gaze at each pile. Gaze at the, the stone that is on top of the pile, and just notice if one sticks out to you visually. Perhaps you might close your eyes, and as I mention each of the piles, you can feel something then, or maybe an image comes to you in your mind's eye. If you get what I'm putting down, I just think these are really good opportunities for you to just go with your gut and don't second guess things as much. And the more you do this, if you haven't done this very much, your intuition will strengthen, and hopefully no matter what reader you are tuning into, you'll be getting the best readings that you can out of these videos. So I am going to mention each of these decks, and then I'm going to give a 10 to 20 second pause, and in that time I want you to feel into the energy of each pile, and then take as long as you want to decide which one is for you. So here we are with pile number 1. Pile number 2. And pile number 3. If you are interested in which stone is on each pile, this one is just a stone from the ground and a rock, if you will. This one is, hopefully you can see that. It is a cat symbol. I'm not sure what stone this is. But yeah, that's our kitty there. And pile number 3 is a moss agate. So take your time if you want to pause the video here and just really give yourself the amount of time that you need to select. You know, I will be here when you are ready. And let's get into the video. I'm super excited and grateful to be your reader today. So thanks for tuning in. Okay, if you chose pile number 1, welcome to your reading. Let's get started. So on top here, these are Animal Spirit cards by Krans, and these are meant to be identifiers for you, just to get a better sense of your energy and kind of who you are. So let's go. We've got Owl and Nightingale. Okay, so 2 air cards. That's great. So right away, I get the sense that the way that you express is very important to you. The Nightingale is really represents the throat chakra and our ability to communicate. And the owl is a very mystical creature that denotes some form of spiritual mastery. So if you're not already aware of this, just know now that there is something very significant connected to your voice and the way that you express yourself spiritually through your voice. So that's something that's coming up really, really strongly. You may be an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, but you don't have to be. Perhaps you are just embodying this air energy in your life where communication is very important to you, a level of flexibility is very important to you, and creative mastery and expression is very important to you. So yeah, those are your identifier cards, and let's keep going here. The next ones are going to be the meat of the reading, right? So we're talking about what you can release. This is not what should you release. This is what do you need to know that is bogging you down, that if you released it, I don't want to put pressure on anyone to release anything, but this is a message where if you release these things, you'll be able to breathe a breath of fresh air, okay? So let's keep going here. First card from the tarot is the Lovers, okay? Let's keep going before I read. The Proclaimer. This is the Hierophant from this deck. And the third one is the Four of Coins. Okay. So with that Lovers card, I get a few things. I get an actual relationship, and this doesn't have to be romantic, but it could be any form of relationship. I get a relationship that includes some form of difference, like with these 2 parts of the same locket kind of sharing the opposite form of one another. But I also get an idea of what love should be like. I get this idea of opposites attract. So if it does not resonate for you that you have this partnership now, I'm also getting this could be an idea that you have in your mind about what receiving this sort of love would be like. And with the Proclaimer, it's funny with the Proclaimer, I almost get wow, I don't know if you can hear that. There's just a lot of geese flying. Wild Geese by Mary Oliver. That's a wonderful poem. Maybe you love that poem. If you've never heard of it, definitely read it. Um, it talks about letting the self be what it is, taking pressure off of yourself to do anything or be anything specific, and working to see yourself as a force of nature, something that just works with the moving of the seasons and with the moving of earth. There's a sense of ease that you are wishing for that you're not currently tapped into, but with the Proclaimer and like this book, right, with these two keys, I feel, and the Hierophant being such a strong, knowledgeable energy, but at the same time an energy that tends to get stuck within certain ideals or certain ideas. I think that you know a lot more than you believe that you do, but there is a sense of needing to free up your capacity to build new worlds, to think about new things. So the Proclaimer is that is Taurus's signifier card, and often the Hierophant / the Proclaimer talks about tradition. With that Lovers, I almost get a sense of like, this is what I've seen in the movies, or like, this is what life told me that love was supposed to be. The media, my parents, whoever, life told me that I was supposed to center a lot of energy and time and aspiration around finding someone who would complete me. But it seems like something about that story, something about that almost like tradition of centering romantic love, has kept you feeling small, has kept you playing small, has prohibited you from perhaps exploring other paths and doing other things with your resources and time. I want you to know that whatever this situation is about, it's a time suck for you. It's an energy suck for you. And it really feels like more than a relationship. This is about an idea. So if you are in a relationship, I don't want to sound like this is a negative relationship, but there is something about the way that you're thinking about the relationship or how to proceed on a romantic level that is distorted. And that does not mean that the partnership itself is negative. It just means that something needs to shift, because there are a lot of different things that are trying to come into your world. A lot of things that would make you feel connected to yourself, that would make you feel abundant, that would make you feel into the vast amount of potential and knowledge that you hold. And with going back to that owl there, I think would spiritually propel you. With the nightingale, help you to maintain boundaries, help you to use your voice in a healthy way that sustains you. But I feel like you're stuck on one idea or one thing, and I am led to believe that this is about romantic love. The main thing that's coming through right now is I think you need to broaden your horizons, perhaps just about how many different ways love can come into your life. If you're someone who's looking for a romantic soulmate, I'm not telling you to give up that search, and I'm not telling you to release necessarily that desire, but it's more so about releasing rigidity, releasing the need for things to be contained in this one perfect vision. And I think that you'll find that once you open up, I almost see like your heart has so many different channels, like they're spiraling out in like this rainbow, but you're only opening one of the channels. So there's like 4 channels, or however many over here, but all the other channels are closed because you're placing so much value on the one channel, which maybe it's not romantic love, maybe it's friendship, maybe it's love of your career, love of your art. I feel viscerally that it could be romantic for a lot of you. That's why I keep bringing that up. But Spirit wants you to open all of these different channels. And this could be as simple as, let me think of an example, like letting love in from your pets, right? Like that's an amazing thing to do. Letting love in from a stranger when they say hi to you on your afternoon walk, you know, letting yourself experience all of these like little micro, I almost get like micro dosing. That's silly. Micro dosing love, because what you really want, and this is so deeply in your mind, is to, sorry, my cat knocked something over. Hi, baby. Hi. What you really want is that huge dose, right? That romantic love that makes you believe in the fairy tales, or makes you believe, like reflects back to you how amazing and powerful and gorgeous you are, right? How valuable your energy is. But if you diversify all of the different things that allow you to feel into that energy and how valuable you are, I think that you'll feel a lot happier. So releasing the need to control how any specific situation plays out in accordance to love for you will be huge. That's the meat of your reading pile number 1. I hope that that's helpful. We're going to close out the reading with some cards from the Plant Spirit Oracle. I will link all these decks down below. But we're going to just get some final words of advice around just tangibly and perhaps in a simpler way how to make this happen, how to make this shift that will allow you to feel more free in your life. So let's see, your first plant spirit ally is Black Cohosh. Cohosh? Might be saying that wrong. Purpose, direction, and vision. And number 2, Poison Ivy. Awareness, caution, consequences. It's so funny, these 2 spirits almost give me a similar energy. They are sort of, I don't know, quiet, demure, focused. There's a similar look in their eyes, and with all of that green, there's just a similar energy from it. I'll pull these up here so you can see them better. So, one part of your advice here is to develop a personal vision. Developing a vision that encapsulates all of the different things that you enjoy and all of the different things that enrich you, other than love, including love, but other than love. It's almost like, you know, they want you to make a vision board. Perhaps that would be something that was helpful, but don't just put the soulmate on there, put the career on there, put the creative purpose on there, put the travel on there. I feel like if you spend this time enriching your relationship to your own future, almost like I'm getting falling in love with your own potential, your own future, what it may hold for you. That's going to be really enriching for you. And it's almost like going to help you reprioritize things in a way that makes more sense and doesn't put too much of your energy in one area of life. So spending more time with yourself in silence, in reflection, in nature, listening to the heart here, because all of that green leads to the heart center, and listening to the self, because you have a lot to say with that nightingale. You have a lot to say, and it's time that you honor the way that you communicate and the way that you see. I feel that you're a very discerning spirit. You're a very discerning spirit. and you are very protective. So moving into that poison ivy card, awareness, caution, and consequences. What do I feel like this is telling you? I feel like the poison ivy it's a protective part of you that sometimes, I don't want to say gets you into trouble, but I think it can complicate things. It's a part of you that is very attached to people, places, and things. It's a part of you that wants things. It's almost idealistic, but when things don't work out in the way that you envisioned, you can get really down on yourself, and it can lead you to not take chances in the future. And I don't want you to think that this is a bad part of you. I see a lot of beauty in this card. But I also see someone who is kind of hiding in the shadows and watching things unfold outside of them. And I really want you to feel like you are being focused on. I want you to have a moment where you can give yourself the experiences that you want, rather than looking out and just hoping that something outside of you will bring you in. You're very gentle, you're very sweet, but you have a bite. I like that. I relate to this deck. I mean, not this deck, this pile. So I'm curious to see as I do the other readings if I'll resonate with them as well, but I definitely resonate with you, so I don't want you to feel like I'm calling out something that is negative about you. This is perception. With this comes, yes, a heavy layer of self-protection that can sometimes keep you guarded from the outside world, but you didn't build this up for no reason. And it serves a very important function when you are unsafe. But part of your mission here is to determine when you're safe and when you're not safe. And that can be really hard. That can take years, you know. I want you to know that your self-protection is not always self-sabotage, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Perhaps you need to be in this self-protective, self-reflective period for longer, because the longer you spend with yourself, it's almost like the less you're going to need that protection over time, because you will build a sense of security from within. So you won't need to layer yourself with all of this extra padding here. You won't have to sting, you won't have to bite, you won't have to threaten or try to constrict or move things into a direction that makes more sense to you. Overall, I want to tell you that you can release the need to make a certain thing happen right now. And you can fall into your own arms and know that you are safe in them. And I hope that that won't feel lonely to you, at least not too much, because I think that it will be a beautiful journey for you, and it will make you feel more connected overall. So yeah, I got a little deep at the end there. Pile number 1, I am so grateful that you trusted me to give this reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked this, you can give me a like, a subscribe, a whatever. But overall, I'm just really happy to have you here, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day or night. Farewell, little fish. Okay, hello pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. If you chose this pile with the little kitty, this reading is for you. We are going to look into what you can feel free to let go of if you so choose. This isn't a you better let go of it now. It's a listen, if you choose to let go of this, your life will probably be improved greatly. So we're going to start off with the top cards. Those are animal spirit cards. and they're going to show me kind of like who you are at this time, and just like get a better sense of like your energy. I'm getting a very relaxed feeling from this pile, which I appreciate because this is my first pick a card reading on YouTube. So thanks for, I feel a welcoming vibe. So if you chose this pile, thanks for that. All right, let's get started. Your first card is Beaver. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. It's just a very it's just a very warm, cuddly creature. I feel like you're a warm, cuddly creature. Oh, but you're also the eagle. So you're strong too. You wear many hats. And the lamb. Okay. That's also where I'm getting this warm, cuddly energy from. You are just very sweet, but you're also really fucking powerful. So wide array of elements too. We have 1 water, 1 air, 1 earth. Beaver, eagle, lamb. With that eagle card, you're going through a really significant time in your life right now where you are being tested and challenged in a lot of different areas. But I feel as if one of the ways that you're dealing with this is, it's almost like, you know how people say like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? I feel like for you, what doesn't kill you makes you softer. And I love that vibe. I think that is that's just very beautiful. That's a very beautiful energy. When you go through things that usually harden people and make them tougher and make them meaner in some cases, like, you know how people can go through trauma and kind of like play out this trauma and inflict damage in future ways. I feel like you're someone who's really trying to avoid that process. And you try to take everything that happens to you and almost like I'm getting build a house with it. You take the things that try to build, like break you down, and you build something new with it. Something that works and something that is a container for a lot of softness and a lot of love. And I love that energy. This is already a very strong energy that I'm picking up on pile number 2. I feel like your family is very important to you. Children are very important to you. Either you have children or you nurture the childish spirit within you. And I think that that's great. So let's keep going. Let's get into the meat of your reading, shall we? Okay, these next cards, like I said, are going to be the meat of your reading. They are going to show me what needs, or you know, what can be released. So let's start there. Strength. Come on, focus. Focus. Okay. 10 of Swords. Yep. That makes sense. The Star. Oh my god. The Star and Strength are 2 of my favorite tarot cards. You guys are winning points with me. And the Keeper of Vessels in this deck, that is the Queen of Cups. Okay. Let's talk here. The biggest, I get a lot of beautiful energy from this. A lot of positive energy. A lot of heart-centered energy. You might be a Leo with that Strength card. You don't have to be. But also with the Keeper of Vessels and that heart. Leo rules, the Leo rules over the heart. And I'm getting that really strongly. So I'm sorry if you don't subscribe to this word. I usually don't use this word in this way, so it's interesting that it's coming up. But you are learning how to, I want to say, control or sustain your empathic abilities. Your heart is one of the most, if not the strongest, kind of like energy center that you have. I feel that you very much lead with it, and it makes sense with all that nurturing energy that I got at the beginning of the reading. Leo, that's so funny. You picked the cat figurine and we've got that huge lion, so maybe lions are just like a really strong signifier card for you, or a strong signifier animal for you. So pile number 2. You're having to learn how to hone your empathic abilities. And unfortunately, one of the biggest trials that you're facing while learning this is burnout. And it's burnout in the form of, I feel like, mental clarity. Maybe you've been feeling really like mentally fogged lately. You haven't been taking care of yourself as greatly as you're trying to take care of other people, quite frankly. And it's understandable, because I have a sense that like this has been your superpower for a while, and it's something that has given you a lot of beautiful experiences to be able to share in the way that other people feel, and be a safe space for other people to explore their feelings. You share so much of your heart here with that Keeper of Vessels. You share so much of your heart, and so funny. I'm interested to know if you would relate to the first reading as well, because I mentioned this image of having a bunch of different channels that flow from your heart. That's so funny. And making sure that you are diversifying and letting all of these different channels be open and receiving all of these different things from all these different channels. So if we're focusing on what you're being advised to let go of, it is the inclination to be everything to everyone. It is a mentality of pushing too hard, pushing your body too hard, pushing your mind too hard, and pushing your emotions too hard. Nurturing others but not nurturing the self. All of that needs to fall away. All of that needs to fall away. And I feel like maybe to a certain extent you're aware of that, because the Star is here right after the Ten of Swords. And so this is talking about getting to a place of renewal, getting to a place where you feel like sustained, and you feel held and supported, and you feel the sense of peace, where before with the Ten of Swords you were faced with so many thoughts and so many stories running through your mind, running rampant, I'm hearing, that made you believe that maybe this was your goal in life, was just to give to others. And I'm getting a sense that like just like a lot of things in your life are not reciprocal in terms of like the energy that you give versus the energy that you receive. And rather than, I mean, it's perfectly fair to be upset about that, but I also want you to try to open more channels, and perhaps look into the prospect that maybe you have been closing up. I'm getting the song All Is Full of Love by Björk, a beautiful song that I have actually been listening to a lot lately. It reminds me that love is always going to be in my life, but I have to look for it. I have to let it in. Some of the lyrics are you'll be given love. You have to trust it. Maybe not from the sources you have poured yours. Maybe not from the direction you're staring at. Twist your head around. It's all around you. All is full of love. I feel like that song would be very healing for you to listen to. Giving love, genuine love to the self. Because I need you to know that as an aspiring healer, which I feel that you are, you can't heal anybody if you're burnt out, right? You can't help anybody if you can't stand up. Or that comment is kind of ableist, I'm sorry. You're not going to be able to help others if you don't give energy to yourself to refuel you. And I think that you know that already. It's just kind of being able to put that into practice. So that is the main message here. You need to let go of the need to be everywhere all at once, to be everything to everyone, to overachieve in your personal relationships. If you don't want to continue experiencing this mental fog, this mental burnout that is not filling you. Okay, so lastly, we're going to look into 2 plant ally cards that are going to help you. These are going to be 2 plant cards that show you what you can do to help yourself in a practical way. So these are going to be advice cards. Your first one is Oak, wisdom, masculinity, and strength. The Great Web, interconnection, kinship, and symbiosis. That's great. The Great Web reminds me of the song that I channeled. You have to believe that everything is connected. Everything is full of this nurturing that is inside of you. Sometimes you just have to find it in other people. Oak is talking about being your own counsel, standing in your own power, and accepting your ability to create great change. And it's funny, we got strength and strength. So if you have anything, it is the willpower and the strength to change your circumstances and to sustain yourself. I feel like you just need more juice, basically. You need more enrichment. I'm kidding. Don't bother me. I'm having enrichment time in my enclosure. Which I hope that you know that TikTok reference, but it's okay if you don't. I feel like perhaps if this is work-related burnout, like if you are in a profession, like a caring profession, part of what you need is to invest more time and energy into hobbies. And I know that can be really hard, especially if you don't have the time or energy after work to do a bunch of other activities. But you can start so small, right? Like you could just like pick up a book that you liked when you were a kid before you go to sleep. Keeping your mind open to the things that could bring you joy and fulfillment is going to be really important. And I also feel like drawing in this energy of activity, of I don't know, going out into the world and doing things that are unrelated to the stuff that you've been doing. So if you have been, say like you're a nurse, right? You might make it a priority to indulge your artistic side more. I don't know. just trying to step outside of what you usually do, and focusing it around like how you can make connections that sustain in a bigger way, being a part of this larger whole, this cosmic whole. Maybe you go on a retreat, maybe you go on a vacation to see beautiful things, maybe you check something off of your bucket list. Whatever it is, it's going to be focused on you, and it's going to be focused on rejuvenation. So I implore you to take some time to think about what would light you up right now. And hey, it might not be this like extremely active thing. Maybe what would light you up is sleeping for an entire day because you're so burnt out and exhausted. That's also totally welcome. Rest your heart overall is the message of this reading. Rest your heart. Prioritize your own process of relief, and don't lose yourself in trying to give relief to others, because I don't want you to burn out like a light. All right, if you chose pile number 2, that was your reading. I hope that you got something out of it. Thank you so much for tuning into my little tarot corner today. This is my first pick a card reading on YouTube, so just very appreciated. If you liked this video, you could like and subscribe and do all the things that you can do on this platform. And I will catch you next time. Thank you. All right, pile number 3, welcome to your reading. This reading is going to help you identify and, if you want, release at least one thing that has been bogging you down, holding you back. So let's get right into it. You chose the moss agate here, and the cards on top are animal spirit cards. So these are animal cards that are going to be identifiers for you and help me get to know your energy a little bit better right off the bat. So let's start. Dolphin, cheetah, interesting. Oh, we have 4 here. Butterfly, and cosmic egg. Let's see how those are showing up on camera. Okay, I get Sagittarius vibes right off the bat. Maybe you're Sagittarius with that dolphin and cheetah. I don't know, I feel like you have a lot of things going on right now, but what's highlighted is a connection to the unseen. And with cosmic egg, this talks about spiritual transformation and a spiritual awakening, as well as that butterfly card. Timing is very at play for you right now. I get a lot of stuff going on, so time management might be very important to you at this time, because you want to do a lot of different things and you have to make space for them, and often they bring out different parts of you, right? So with the dolphin, I get almost like a free loving energy. Maybe that's you when you're around your friends and family. And cheetah is endurance. It is going after the things that we want. And it is fire. So yeah, I get a time management vibe. I get needing to be different things to different people sort of vibes. I almost get shapeshifter vibes with how different each of these animals are. It's like it's hard to even link together different similarities within them because they all just give me a different thing. The only thing that is central to all of it is this cosmic egg energy. So all of the all the pots that you have your hands in, like all these different pots that you're messing with, they all link back to this wholeness that has to do with your spirit. I think that you're multi-talented. I think that you are complicated. Your energy is almost like ungraspable, which could be why I'm getting Sag energy, but it could also be Gemini energy as well, because I think that's their sister signs, correct? Gemini and Sagittarius. I think that that's right. Yeah, I get this like almost erratic energy, but it seems like you know what you want. It's just like from the outside looking in, like other people might not understand what the hell you're doing. It's just that you're always on the go. Like you're always kind of working on something, not taking a lot of time to, well, actually, I was going to say not taking a lot of time to go inward, but I don't think that that's true with the butterfly. Like, you know that you're changing. And a person who allows themselves to change and transform is a person who is willing to go inward. So I actually take that back. But perhaps you are someone who is misunderstood by the way that I'm just like not understanding your energy right away. I feel like that signifies that people in your life have a hard time grasping onto your energy and making sense of all these different parts. But I think that you help teach people that all of us are very multifaceted beings, and that we can do a lot of different things and be a lot of different things. So let's get into what Spirit wants to talk about in terms of what you can let go of to assist you at this time. We're going to be using the Transient Light Tarot for this portion of the reading. 9 of Wands. Okay. Apprentice of Coins. This is Page of Pentacles in this deck. 7 of Swords. And the 7 of Wands. Okay. Interesting. Okay, pile number 3. I really do get Gemini energy from you. I wonder if you're a Gemini, or if you have Gemini placements, or if there's something significant in your astrology chart that is similar to Gemini, because there is this sort of like, oh wow, butterfly. Just notice that there is this polarity within you that people get the wrong impression of what you're doing sometimes, or perhaps you don't even know your intention behind doing something sometimes. Because with that 7 of Swords, this is kind of like sneaky energy. It's taking for the sake of taking. All right, give me 1 second. I gotta ground myself with this pile. Once again, I'm led back to the sense of understanding that comes from other people, but it also comes from yourself. You are very complex. You don't always understand your intentions behind things, the reason why you do things, take certain actions, but I feel a purity from you as well. So I don't think the 7 of Swords is here to tell me that you're sneaky or that you're emotionally manipulative, but I feel the need to tell you that sometimes people can be like, when someone says that someone's manipulative, it sounds like they're saying a person is being deceptive on purpose. And I want to tell you that sometimes all of us are manipulative without meaning to be. So I hope that that makes sense. I think that sometimes you get feedback from people saying that you are manipulative, or that you switch up on people almost. to get your way, to get what you need. And I think that this comes ultimately from a place of insecurity with the Seven of Wands and the Nine of Wands. It's like you're trying to build stability for yourself. You're trying to learn the ways of steadiness, the way that you can grow things step by step. But there is an inclination to cut corners, and maybe that's what I'm picking up on here with that Seven of Swords. You might think that in order for you to change or in order for you to grow, you have to kind of like, I'm getting the image of you, what's the word for it? I don't know. You like shifting, what is the word? Dodging. I think that you dodge other people's energy a lot of the time, but it comes from a place of feeling like you have to like kind of flee situations or like fight to get what you want, because I think that you faced a lot of resistance from outside sources, and it's created this inclination within you to like almost override that process and skip the step where someone's like questioning you or trying to like figure out your process. And you do things behind the scenes. You're sneaky in the way that like you just don't want to hear it from people anymore. And I feel like part of that is like this level of criticism that other people have projected onto you. This is a very interesting energy, and it's a very like subconscious, deep inclination within you. So if this is like triggering to you in any way, I totally understand, and I hope that it's not coming off like that I'm judging or that like this energy is wrong, because I'm seeing it from a multifaceted perspective. I'm seeing it as like this isn't someone who wants to hurt this isn't someone who wants to hurt other people, and this isn't someone who wants to manipulate. This is someone who is ultimately scared of other people's perceptions, so they try to stay insular and they try to deal with things in their own way. Because if other people don't understand you, sometimes they don't extend compassion, so you've learned to go it alone. And I feel like I want to pull like maybe one or two more cards about this, just because the energy is so complicated and so interesting, quite frankly. But I just want to get like some clarity, Spirit, about what pile number 3 is being advised to let go of. More concisely, what are they being led to let go of? The Magician. Let's get one more, please. And the 10 of Coins. Bottom of the deck is the Chariot. You need to let go of other people's opinions, of the way that you are choosing to survive right now. And I feel like I want to like almost expand this reading, but I'm not going to, because I want to stay on topic. There's a lot of things that are changing for you in your life right now, based on the decisions that you've made about your life alone. And when other people are not taken along for the ride of our decision-making process, it's likely that they're not going to understand. But there's something about your energy that is inherently misunderstood by a lot of people. So this is something that you're used to, and I almost feel like the anticipation of people understanding you is causing you to behave in ways that are limiting and in ways that don't honor your energy. I hope that all of this is making sense. This is just like, I've never really had a reading that took me in this direction, and it's very intriguing and interesting. I see someone who's coming up on their own, someone maybe who's developing a business, developing a skill on their own, and perhaps you are going to be accused of getting to this place in your life deceptively or like through dishonest means, and you're being encouraged to stay grounded in your own truth and your own decision-making process. You know who you are, you know that you've created these things yourself and that you have not been deceptive. At least I hope you haven't been deceptive. But you are being led on this journey of ultimately being the person who understands you. And I know that that can be really lonely and really isolating, but know that we all face that to a certain extent, and no one is 100% understood by really anyone. And our goal in life is, one of our goals in life has to be exploration of the self, which I feel like you have been doing. And so I want to let you know that you're on the right path with that. You've been working very hard to understand yourself. I would work also on understanding your inclination to approach situations with resistance or with hesitance or with defensive energy. I feel this sense of defensiveness around you where you're just like trying to be yourself, but you anticipate people not liking or not understanding you, and this can be a blockage in itself to think that you know what's going to happen before it happens. But I totally understand that due to adverse experiences with other people, we can build up those defense mechanisms to protect ourselves, and it's nothing to shame yourself about. It's just something to pay attention to. But focus on your legacy here and let go of the desire to control other people's perception of you is the overall message here, pile number 3. I'm going to close out your reading with a couple of cards from the Plant Spirit deck. And these are going to be just like further words of advice for you from your Plant Spirit allies. First one, we've got Hemlock, Land Within and Without, and Apple. Okay. Pile number 3, your advice starts with your connection to nature. And it ends with your connection to yourself. And both of these things correspond to one another and they feed into each other. I think that spending time out in nature is going to be really, really helpful for you. Clearing your mind is going to be super helpful for you because you need to go through experiences that help you feel grounded and connected, especially if you feel like you are taking in the thought patterns and kind of like, I see like thought forms. It's almost like you're able to download other people's thoughts. You're very perceptive in that way. And you need to know when to close out that energy. You need to know when to close out the outside world and just connect to yourself. And nature is going to be an amazing way to do that, to quiet the mind. And with Apple, you're going to enter into a period of your life where you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. Your advice is to accept what is yours, to embrace what is yours, and to not, you have free will. You can share with whoever you want these riches, this abundance. You can share with whoever you want, but you are being advised to give it to yourself because you deserve it. And anyone who wasn't there for you, and all the times that you fell down shouldn't be able to reap the rewards that you achieve when you finally get up, right? And kind of like climb that mountain. Finding the balance between your truth and other people's perceptions, because a lot of times the people who love us make observations and they are fair observations, you know. Sometimes the people who love us just care and they worry and they fret, and perhaps there's something in the situation that you can appreciate, but then finding the balance to like understand that you don't have to take everything that everyone says to heart, and you don't need things that other people say to color your perception and your vision. Enjoy things for you, but hear people out when they speak and then decide how you feel about it. Give yourself a lot of time to communicate. I think I'm going to end it there, pile number 3. Your reading was very fascinating. And I can see that you are having some difficulties right now, but I also see that you're coming into a period of abundance and of greatness. And I hope that you really allow yourself to celebrate that and celebrate how far that you've come. If you enjoyed this reading, you can like and subscribe and do all that fun stuff. This is my first pick a card reading, so it means a lot to me if you tuned in. And I would love to hear if you enjoyed this reading. And for all of the piles, if you tuned in, thank you so very much. I'm so excited to continue to give readings on this channel, and to continue building this up. This is just the beginning. Yeah, take care everyone, and be magical, and be safe, and love yourself and love others. Thank you. Amen.